And we're going to look at the chart for Marilyn Monroe. If you looked at the eastern horizon when she was born, you would see the sign associated with Cancer rising at 20 degrees. She was born June 1st, 1926 at 9:30 a.m. in Los Angeles. So 20 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet that's within 5 degrees has some impact. And um, first, we're going to look at we know that a Cancer is a movable water sign. So she had a lot of accomplishments, a lot of movement in her life, and water signs are very emotional. Gives great intuition, but she had also some extreme emotional instability. So we're going to look at see how the planets are operating, and then we'll see when they're operating, and then we could talk about remedies that would have been helpful for her. So first, let's look at and see how the planets are operating. We know that any sign that is in the sixth, eighth, or 12th house, the Dustana houses, can cause some challenges. So the nine, and they have to be multiconal signs 1, 4, 5, 9, 7, and 11. And so we see the ninth sign, Sagittarius, in the sixth house of conflicts and health issues and debts and delays. And so ninth sign is Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter becomes a functional malefic for this chart and can cause harm. And then we see in the eighth house the 11th sign of Aquarius ruled by Saturn. Saturn also becomes a functional malefic for this chart and can cause some challenges. And then in the 12th house, there is no multiconal sign, so no issue there. But Rahu and Ketu are also functional malefics and can cause challenges in all charts. So then let's see. I don't think. So Rahu is just a slight affliction. It's within 5 degrees, barely, of Saturn. So Saturn is already functional malefic, so that's an issue. Um, and Mars is within 3 degrees of Rahu. So Rahu is afflicting Mars, but it's already in a Dustan house, so that there's issues with Mars anyway. So then 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so and K2 and Rahu are just barely they're about 4 degrees. They're within the 5 degree orb of the most effective point of every house. So they can afflict career and cause some addictions. Rahu's in the house of addictions and separations and depression and sleep issues, which all of which she had. So those are all, and sexual issues as well. So let's just go through the planets. Sun is at 17. That's very within 3 degrees of the most effective point. It's at 17 degrees. It's in the house of income, and it's ruling the house of recognition, wealth, and recognition. So this is also the house of friendship. So, she gained great wealth and great fame through friendships in her career. Um, And Sun being in this second house gives her a eloquent voice. She had great singing abilities and acting abilities. Um, Moon is at 26 degrees. It is placed in the house of partnerships and foreign, living in foreign lands, which she did some. Actually, we just visited Avignon, which is a place that she spent some time in France. Um, Moon is ruling the house of life purpose. So relationships were a big part of what she came here to learn about in this life. And she had many, many, many relationships. Um, uh, it's just slightly in old age. So any planet that's less than 5 degrees is in adolescence. Any planet that's more than 25 degrees is in old age. So this can weaken the moon, and so strengthening the moon with a kavash, which is a locket that contains the yantra to strengthen the moon, would be very helpful. Wearing white is very good also for her. And Moon is the public. So her life purpose was to be in front of the public in terms of singing and acting. Um, Now, because it's weak, she got lack of support from her mother. Her mother and I think her grandmother had mental issues, and they weren't able to take care of her. She ended up in a foster home. Um, Mars is at 27 degrees. It is um, in the eighth house of obstacles and challenges and vulnerability, and it's ruling the house of career. So there were some vulnerabilities with her career, um, and some ups and downs. And so Mars is also property, so there's some ups and downs with property as well. Um, but Mars gave her great drive and ambition for her career. Um, she accomplished quite a lot. She had three Golden Globes. Um, Mercury is at 13 degrees. It is in the house of income, ruling the house of performing arts, success through her own efforts, and so she did have good income through her ability to perform and act and sing. Um, Jupiter is just slightly weak in adolescence, and it is functional malefic, as we said before. So Jupiter is the karaka or significator for husband and children. So Jupiter is ruling the house of conflicts and health issues, um, and it's located in this house of obstacles and challenges, and the marital bond, the stability of the marital bond. So definitely, she had multiple marriages that didn't work out, and I think three or more, maybe four. And it also limits the amount of children. So she was pregnant several times, but never was able to conceive a child. And Venus is at 5 degrees. It is also functional malefic, and no, it's not functional malefic. Excuse me, that's a typo there. But it is ruling the house of family and happiness through family, um, and it also signifies beauty and the performing arts. Um, and it's located in the house of career. So she had great career through her abilities in the performing arts and through her own beauty. She was said to be a sex symbol and of great beauty. Um, uh, Saturn is at 28 degrees. It's in old age, and it is a functional malefic, and uh, it brought a lot of vulnerability. Saturn is located in that house of family, so a lot of vulnerability. She, you know, ended up in a foster home. Her original family couldn't take care of her, and none of her family, her relationships ever really worked out. They were short term. Um, and then gave her a lot of, affected her longevity as well. And Saturn's the significator for longevity. She had a very short life. I think she was like 36 when she overdosed, and gave her a lot of depression and anxiety. Rahu and K2 are at 24 degrees, which is, yeah, within 5 degrees of the most effective point. As I said before, it afflicts career. Let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Afflicts family, 6, 7. Um, Creates some health issues, some conflicts in her life, which she had a lot in her relationships. 8, 9, and then lots of obstacles. And then if you look at K2, it's 1, 2. They afflict 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Career 6, 7. There's depression, addictions, sexual, and sleep issues. 8, 9, and she had problems. I think she had a stutter early on in her life, so that affects the throat. And then Saturn afflicts 3, 7, and 10 houses away. So 1, 2, 3, career, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, speech, 8, 9, 10. So children affected, and limiting children. And then Jupiter, it's the other functional malefic, afflicts 5, 7, and 9 houses away. And so that's Jupiter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, depression. 6, 7. Again, throat. 8, 9. Again, family. So yeah, so multiple issues with relationships and having children and emotional stability were really predominant in her life. Now let's look at when the planets were operating. So she was born into a Mars period, which is the root of the tree of life for her. If you look back here, let's see. Yeah, it's not working for some reason. Oh, yeah, she was born in 1926. So yeah, Mars period. And so again, gave her a lot of ambition for her career, and a lot of drive to accomplish things in her life. Um, but again, it's in this house of challenges, and it is in old age. So it was weak, needed to be strengthened again with a gavash, um, or red coral. So let's look at. She died in well, let's come back to that. So she had multiple marriages during her Jupiter period, which is the period of for husband and she got pregnant several times during that period, so that makes sense. She was actually raped in 1935. So again, that would have been during a Rahu period. And again, Rahu sexual uh, periods of depression and um, end of life experiences, really extreme experiences. And so Rahu is this, secret kind of things that happen, and so that makes sense. And then she got 3 Golden Globes, I think, in 1957. So if we look at that period, that would have been also Rahu. So Rahu can, it's eclipse, so it can bring good things and it can also cause issues. So those are some periods. Now let's look at the time of death. If we look at her transit chart, her time of death. It was also during a Rahu period. So she overdosed on drugs. Rahu's in this house of addictions. And then if we look at the transit chart, so here's a chart that is very useful. The outer circle is where the planets were when she died. The inner circle is where the planets were when she was born. So if we look at what was happening when she died, K2 was afflicting Saturn within 5 degrees. Saturn is longevity. And so end of relationship with your life, basically in the house of relationships. And then also Jupiter, which has to do with peace of mind and inner conflict, is in this house of end of life experiences, and it is also within 3 degrees of the most effective point, so it's at 17 degrees. So you look here and just see any planets that are within 5 degrees of Rahu and K2, and you see Moon and also emotional stability. You see Sun, barely. Also, Sun is in this house of your life, and it's close to Rahu, so also causing some issues right there. So yeah, multiple things going on at the time of death. K2 is unexpected events, afflicting longevity, and so yeah, many things going on there. So, and then Moon, emotional instability. So what could she have done to improve her karma? So doing chants and charities to appease Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and K2. Charities would be helping other people that cannot help themselves, helping spiritual organizations for Jupiter, helping, again, elderly men, or the elderly for Saturn, Rahu, and K2 also helping those who cannot help themselves. K2 is more about spiritual organizations, and listening to Shiva chants, Ganesh chants. Those would all have been helpful. But main thing is also to strengthen her weak planets. So Sun was her strongest planet. That really gave her her great abilities in terms of her eloquent voice and her speech and her wealth and recognition. So that gave her a lot. So Sun really didn't need to be strengthened, but all of the other planets were weak or poorly placed, and so a kavash, which is a locket that contains the yantra to strengthen each of those planets, would be very helpful if she had been wearing that. You could also do the gems, but it's not as powerful as the kavash. So a pearl, red coral, emerald, and also diamond, which you probably did have, I'm sure. But we don't want to strengthen Jupiter or Saturn because they are functional malefic, as well as Rahu or Ketu. So these are the main points for Marilyn Monroe's chart. If you would like a reading, you could go to um, vastucreations.com under services, and you can sign up for different types of readings. If you would like to learn about transformational Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. We have level 1 and level 2 where we certify people in this great science of transformational Vedic astrology. Thank you for listening.